students. So welcome to you to my channel. So today we are going to start your next chapter, that is file handling, working with files. Uh, so I think the two chapters already we have discussed. And I have shared the video with you. Python revision tool 1, tool 2 with the function, working with function. So let's start today the file handling, working with file. Okay, so what are the important things you need to remember in this chapter? Let's see. What are the important things you need to discuss, see in this chapter? File handling. Okay, so here you can see different types of files, and their operations. These are the very important things. Okay, so what are the different types of files we are going to use in this chapter? First one is your text files. Second one is your binary files. Third one is your CSV files. So this chapter is all about the operation we can perform on the particular the different file, text file, binary file, and CSV file. How can we open this one? How can we close this one? How can we put out different operations? All the things we are going to read in this entire chapter. So let's see it one by one. So what is the need of the data file? So can you tell me some needs? So first of all, we need to store our data. Yes or no? To store data in organized manner. To store data permanently. To access the data transfer. We can transfer the data. To search data transfer. To easily modify data later on. So these are the things we can perform or requirement need for a data file. These are the things you can perform on a file system. So what is the definition? A file is a sequence of bytes on the disk permanent storage where a group of related data will be stored. Yes or no? Sequence of bytes means number of characters. You'll write there and you will be stored the data permanently. So file is created for the permanent storage of the data, not for temporary basis. In programming, sometimes it is not enough to only display the data on the console. Those data are to be retrieved later on, then concept of file handling. So why this file handling concept came? If anyone asks you the question, So sometimes we require only means suppose we are doing some program. Then what means we are doing normally? We are executing the program finally and show the output on the console or on the screen. So sometimes it need to store the data. Whatever the data we are entering inside the program, whole program, the data should be stored in the form of file concept. So there, the file handling concept is very much important to store our data, whatever we are uh, inputting in the programming language. So it is impossible to recover the programmatically generated data again and again. So in the program, if we generate again and again, same thing will happen. However, if we need to do so, we must store it into the file system, which is not volatile. Volatile means it should be erased. When the power supply is off or something will happen, the data is temporary. Volatile means temporary and can be accessed every time. So here in file system it is not volatile, it is present permanently. Whenever we need, we can access it. Here the file handling in Python enable us to create, update, read and delete the files stored on the file system through our Python program. Okay, so what is this? Means why we read this chapter? Through some file program, we'll take some file, create some new file, and upload some data, insert some data to this file, particular file, and later on we will do different types of operation on the particular program. Then it will be changing the file system automatically. So it is related to file and a program. That means in a program we will handle all the things and it will be retrieved in the file, in the form of file. That is the main goal of the file handling concept. Okay. So the following operation can be performed on a file. In Python, file handling consists of the following three steps. Okay. So what are the steps we will follow whenever we write or create any program inside the file here? First we open the file. Okay. First step is we have to open the file. Next step, process the file, perform a read or write operation. Okay, whatever the operation will two types of means three types of operations are there. A read, a write, mainly. Third one is your operation. Okay. So you'll perform this operation, then close the file, close your file system. These are the main three operations we'll perform on a file. First, you open the file, process the data or file, then close the file. So move to the next slide. So there are two types of file they have mainly divided. Okay, for your differentiation. Another CSV file is also there. Text file and binary. Text file whose content can be viewed using a text editor. Okay, you know Notepad, WordPad, okay, text pad is called text editor. That means only the text we can write there. So text file is simply a sequence of ASCII or Unicode characters. You know what is ASCII code, what is Unicode? ASCII code stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and Unicode is the universal character code that every uh, file system, every means whatever the character we are writing will be support the universal code character. So Python program content written in text editor and some of the example of text files like .txt, RTF, CSV is one of the example of this file. Binary files. A binary file stores the data in the same way as stored in the memory. .txt file, MP3 file, image file, Word document are some of the example of binary file. We cannot read binary file using a text editor. Okay, so binary file is not in the human readable form directly. We have to convert it into human readable form because it is not in the by default language of a computer. Okay, computer can understand the binary language only. So whenever we are creating any binary files, okay, so if you want to read this one the data, then we have to convert it into the normal file, then we can read it. So they have given some differentiation. Sometimes they can ask you write two or three difference between the text file and binary file. You can write here. Its bits represent the character. The bits represent the custom data. Okay, individual bit is the character. It bit represent the custom data. Less prone to get corrupt. Changes reflected as soon as made can be undone. So this one can less prone to get corrupt, can easily get corrupt on even single bit change. If any single bit also change, here the corruption will means data will be or your file will be corrupted or the damage. But here there is no chance of that. Store only plain text in a file. Can store different types of data. That is the benefit of binary file. Audio, text, image in a single file. They can merge. Widely used file format can be opened in any text editor. Okay, any text editor you can open this one. Developed for application and can be opened in the application only. It is developed for the application purpose. In application, we are merging different file into one file. So at that time, binary file system is very good. Mostly docs, txt, RTF are used in the extension of a text file. Can have any application defined extension here in the which one binary file. So how you can perform the opening and closing, I will tell you. Open function. For opening the file, you need which function? Open function. For closing, you need close function. These two types of function need. So before any reading or writing operation, file must be opened first. So before you will perform any type of operation on the file, file should be open, and it is the syntax. File object. You write then the file name or file object, open method, then file name. It is a file object. It is the file name. Suppose file object will write file one. It is called file object. File name means abc.txt, txt, whatever. Access mode, then buffering. Access means read, write, or append, whatever the mode is there, then buffering. Okay. So file name of the file enclosed in the double quote. Access mode determine what kind of operation will perform, like read write. Buffering, for no buffering set it to 0. For line buffering set it to 1. If it is greater than 1, then it is buffer size. Then it is buffer size. If it is negative, then buffer size is system default. So it depends upon how the processing will be running. So buffering is not mandatory here. Three things is mandatory: file object name, open function, file name, and access mode. Okay. So first you will write down the file object name, equal, then give an assignment operator, open function, file name, and access mode. You can see here. Okay. Basic text file operation will perform now. You will see. First open the file, any path. What is that absolute relative path? We'll see. Then reading and writing the data, manipulation data, appending. Last one is close. You can see here. This is not difficult for you now. Absolute path and relative path. One must familiar with the absolute and relative path. They can ask you direct question: what is the difference between absolute and relative path in the program? Absolute path is a full path to some place on your computer. From the beginning, when you started and you're moving to the different directory, all the directory combinedly called absolute. And relative path is working with a current directory. That is called relative path. You can see here absolute path C, users, admin, docs, staff, test. All the things will be combinedly called absolute. Okay. Relative path, you can see docs, staff.text. Okay. So here they have given OS module, operating system. Before starting the file operation, following method must be learned by a programmer to perform the file system related method available under OS module, standard module. I have told you math module, there are some functions are there. Random module, some functions are there. Same thing, when operating system module is there, there some function is there. Make directory, create, change the parent directory. Okay, display the parent directory like this. They have given something, but before that you have to import the OS module. Chalo. See here, open a text file. They have done one program. You can see how they have done. F, they have taken the file object. F is what? File object. Assignment, open function. File name, a dot x. File name. Then what is the mode or access mode? A plus. Okay, A plus means you can perform both read and write. One table is there and showing you. You note down this table. Both read and write operation. Note down the table. There is one table is there. Where is that table? Table. Table. I think we have. Okay. Table is not showing here. 1 minute. Okay, let's see this one. This is very important here. Very important. You can see Modes and description. R stands for reading beginning of the files. This is the default mode. If you don't mention any mode, the by default mode it should be read mode. RB same reading in binary file. Okay, B stands for binary file. R plus both reading and writing. RB plus same as reading and writing in the binary file. W writing only. Where they have mentioned R, you can see I am differentiating here. RWA. In normal text file, you can perform read operation, write operation, append operation. Here, R plus, W plus, A plus. Reading and writing, writing and reading, reading and writing. In normal text file. When you join here B, just in binary file, you can perform reading operation, binary file, writing operation, binary file, but append operation. Then RB plus, W plus, AP plus. You can see here. Okay, so these are the different modes. You take the screenshot of the different mode here and you'll remember this one. This is very much important. Whenever any program file program will come, then you will follow this one here. Now move to the next one. See here, I have discussed this one with you. So next, see this program here. I'm discussing about this program now. So open a file a.txt with mode a plus. A plus means both read and write operation. Here. Then f dot closed encoding mode new line name. Okay, whatever you want, you will be perform different types of operation here. So the close function is used to close the open file. When you write f dot close file and object dot close, the syntax is file object dot close. Whenever you will close a function, the syntax should be what? Close function. Syntax should be file object dot close. So what is the file object here? F dot close. Clear like this? Okay. So next is just important method I am discussing here. Write method. Okay. In the file handling, how you will read write in the text file. First operation is what? You will open the file. You open using which function? Open function. Then second one is read write operation. So there should be any method now. Then you can perform the read write operation. So the methods are, you can see write method. It write the content to the file in the form of a string. It does not return the value due to buffering. The string may not actually show in the file until the flush or close method is called. Okay. So whenever the flush or close method will be called, then at that time it will be replaced to the buffer to the memory. Then it will be shown to you. Read method. Read the entire file and returns content in the form of a string. Okay. So you can see here write and read method of this program. Open a.txt line 1 welcome to Python. Okay, f.write line 1. Now this line 1 you will write line 2 f.close. Then in this program you write, then you have to perform the read operation. Read operation f.read print text f.close. You can see this text is printed here or not. So note, for the text file operation, file extension should be .txt and opening mode without v, and text file handling relevant method should be used for the file operation. Okay? Text file. Another method is there, read line and size. How many lines you need to read? Read number of characters from the file size is mentioned till end of read. Till new character returns empty string. Okay, if it is mentioned that 20 character, Then from the beginning 20 character it will be read, or 20 line it will be read. If it is not mentioned anything, then it will be read up to the last. You can see here line 1, line 2 they have imported one new line character. Okay, line 2 you can see read line, print text, read line. You can see it is coming under two lines. Okay, read lines, read all the lines present in the program. It is a single line you can mention here. You can see line 1, line 2. Okay, now what is the difference between here and this program? Okay, so by default the text file is supporting new line character. Whenever you will import anything in the text file, it is by default support what? New line character. You can see in this example. So here, read lines method will be read all the lines. You can see here. Write line, line 2, text read lines 1. Then they will be read all the lines. Iterating over the line in a file. How can we iterate? Using the which function? For. You can see for loop. For loop is used for iteration. Yes or no? So you can see the example. Open a file in the write mode. Line 1 return, line 2 return, close. Then read mode again we open. For text in f.read lines, then all the lines should be present in the form of text. Then print the text. Okay, then it will become processing every word. Okay, if you want to processing each and every word in the file, then what you will do? You use one method, that is split method. Split method will be divide the string into, okay, scatter the string into different characters, single character. You can see line 1 write line 1, line 2 write line 2. Then read method, text in read lines. For word in text dot split. Okay, now the string will be separated into word, print the word. You can see here, welcome to Python, regularly visit. Okay, here now see here, this is not required. Append a content. Okay, so what do you mean by main thing? Read, write, append. So read means it will be read the content of the file. So if you open the file in the read mode, you should be and see that the file should it is already existed, otherwise it will give you error. In write method, if the file is not there, they will be create one another file. Append method, they will be add the contents. Okay, previous content should be there and they will add some extra content. That is the use of append method. But in the write method, if there is something is written previously, again we start writing, then the previous data will be erased. But in the append method, the previous data should be what written. Okay, so these are the things you can see here. Okay, so let's see one thing. For writing, what we use write and write line. Here my point, I think. Okay, these are the functions is present in the text file. Okay, now we are going to discuss what is the use of cross function. So whenever we open a file, up to until we close a file, all the data is present in the buffer, temporary memory. Okay, when we terminate it normally, close function, then all the data will be stored where? In the memory after the close function, not before the close function. But if you want in the middle to enter all our data to the memory, then which function write? Use class function. So what is the definition? Class function. Class function forces the writing of data on disk still pending in the output buffer. It will be forces. It is not the normal termination. It will forces to terminate or to enter all your data in the memory. Okay. So this is the use. You can see here before the close function, if we use the close function, then it will take all the things. That means normally it will be forces take. Here I think everyone. So now we'll see text file is over now. You'll see binary file. So you can see the binary file is one type of file that you can take all the things there, text, image, whatever you want, we can insert it. Okay, so you can see here they have mentioned the problem with the approach of previous slide comes from the fact that it is not very easy to use when you want to write several objects into the binary file. For instance, consider you would have to do if you wish to write a string, integer, perhaps even the contents of a list or dictionary into a file. How would you read the contents of the file later? Okay, so he's asking here in the binary format, whatever you will write in the binary file, it is not in the human understandable form. Then how should you read it? So for this, they have a last one module that is called pickle module. Okay, it is called pickle module. So here, two process is easy. One is your serialization. One is your serialization process, or it is called pickling process. Second one is your on pickling process. So what is the serialization? Process of converting Python object into a byte string. Python object. What is the Python object? Suppose you take one list, you take one tuple, you take one string, you take one dictionary. That object will convert into the binary file system file. It is called what? Pickling or serialization. On pickling, what is that? Again, from the file to Python object. Okay, if anyone want to see, then it will be on pickling. If you start the process, first you will do the pickling. That means you gather the Python object. Suppose one dictionary you take, you will be collect the dictionary, write the dictionary, imported the dictionary from the file system. Then again, whenever you want to read it, because binary file is not in inner format, again you have to on pickling the process. So for them, okay, the method is there. That is two method under pickle module. Import, first you write import pickle, then pickle the dump for writing. Okay, for write store the object data to the file, and load to read the content from the file. So whenever you need to write anything, serialization process, we are under serialization process, to use the dump method. Whenever you are in the unpickling process, use the load method. Okay, over now. Then you can see here we have written one entire program. You will observe this program where they have used load method, where they have used the dump method. Okay, when you start the RB reading operation, they start load method. When they have WB operation, they have Which method? Dump method. You can clear from here. Okay, so practice some of the program of binary file, how to insert some data through dictionary, how to insert some data through list, tuple, whatever. Okay, then two things is there, two methods. uh, One is tail method, another one is seek method. Okay, we'll elaborate it now. Suppose I have taken one content in the binary file. We have taken one dictionary. Okay, suppose roll number 1, name Sunil. Okay, age 24. Here you want to, suppose you have already inserted in the binary file. Later on you want to update something. Name equal to Sunil to will be to Amit. Okay, suppose roll number 1 to 3. Then how you will do that? For this you use two functions. One is tell, second one is seek. So I am telling just uh, in short what is that. Then you will find out, you will reach to the current position of the file pointer. Okay, file pointer means it will be read byte by byte, character by character. So it from the starting it will be in the beginning. So it will be read one by one character. So different functions, read write functions, read function. Then it will be reach to the particular file where you want, search for the particular file. When it will be found the file, they will immediately send to the seek function. Then seek function, they will be uh, find out that, okay, and it will be now update to seek function. Seek function will be do the updation work, and finally it will be printed. Okay, so what is the syntax of this two function? Tell function syntax file object dot tell. Seek function syntax file object dot seek. What are the parameters are there? Offset and mode. And offset means the position. Okay, the position. If it will be in 0, offset is 0, it will be in the beginning. Okay, 1, yes, 1, it will be current position. Okay, 2, end of the file. Get my point? Okay, so the syntax is, you know, that file object dot seek offset comma mode. So offset here 0 will be from the, if you use offset 0, that means the file now started, it is in the beginning, the file pointer is in the beginning. If you use one offset, file pointer is in the current file wherever you are searching, and second to end of the file object. Okay, I think everyone clear about this. Okay, so now you know what is binary file and there all the operation. So you go some different examples program present in your book, practice this one, then you know that what is the use of tell and seek function. If any doubt, you can comment here, okay, in my comment box. So then move to the last one, last concept, that is which one? CSV files. Okay. So the full form of CSV file, comma, separated value file. So it is a delimited file. That means it is either in the spreadsheet format, Excel format, database format, the different database file, Excel file we can write under the CSV format. Okay. By default, separator of CSV file is what? Comma. Comma. You can add also tab, standing line, arrow, whatever you want. The different delimiter is there, but the default delimiter of CSV file, if the question will come, what is the default delimiter of CSV file? You can write what? Comma. Okay. So before doing anything on the CSV file, you have to import the CSV module. Remember this one. In the binary files, you import pickle module. In the CSV file, you import CSV module. So in the CSV module, they have two functions, reader and writer. Okay. So what is the use of that reader and writer function? Now see. Okay. So now we'll go one by one. How it will be the CSV file will be imported and whatever all the process will be coming under the CSV file. First, we import the CSV module. First process. Second one, open the CSV file through open function. Okay. Then third one, create the writer object. Okay. Create the writer object. Then write down the obtain the user data. Record the user data. Write the user data. Okay. Means in dictionary format or list or whatever, will record it. Then what it will do? You write this data, write those data, okay, into the CSV file. Then finally, what you will do? Close the file. Okay. So first you import the CSV module. Then two objects you will get for writing operation, writer object. The writer object, what it will do? One function is there that is called write row. Okay, write row and write rows. When you import the writer object, they have two functions. One is a write row, write rows. Single row it will be taken. CSV write row is used to write onto the writer object. Whatever the things you will write, object you will write, it will be converted. Okay, so it converts the user data into CSV writable format, that will in the delimited format. Clear my point? What is the use of CSV writer object? Okay, so here you can see here one example I am telling you, they will know that. Write a program to create a CSV file to store the student data. Write a program to create a CSV file. Okay, to store the which data? Student data. There what should be there? Roll number, name, marks. Okay. Obtain the data from the user and write 5 records. Right? 5 records. Then what is your role? First import the CSV module. Open the file object. Okay, in the write mode. Then create which object? Yeah. Writer. very much important. Okay, create the writer object, then use a function that is write row and write the record. Roll number, name, and marks. 5 records you will be inputted. Okay, for take the for loop, help of for loop for I in range 5. Then enter roll number, enter name, enter marks. Then after writing that, okay, you again use the what? Student writer dot write rows. Okay, so write row will now convert. Then in the write rows, whatever you write rows function will be added these 5 names, okay, data into the file system, CSV file. Then if you want to read it, use the reader function, CSV reader. Okay, use the CSV reader. Returns a reader object which loads data from CSV file into an iterable form. Clear my point? When you need to write something into the CSV file, you take the help of writer object. When you want to read from the CSV file, you use the reader object. Very much important point I am telling here. Okay, when we want to write something into CSV file, then which function you will use? Which object? Writer. Read from the CSV file, a reader. Okay, so with this you'll be doing the different option from in the writer. Two things is there: write row, write row. Single row for single data, write row. For multiple data, write row. Clear my point, I think. So this is all about your file concept. Okay, text file, binary file, and CSV file, and all the operation you'll perform on this. So if any doubt, you can ask me in the comment line. Thank you for today. Bye bye.